On today's Fit to Eat, I'm going to show you how to make a delicious pork stir fry. Registered dietitian Rebecca Turner will show you how to toss together a panzanella salad. On our Down on the Farm segment, we'll learn how community-supported agriculture works. And today our guest is Jeff Good, managing partner of Bravo, Broad Street, and Sal and Mookie's restaurants. Stick around. Welcome back to Fit to Eat. I'm your host, Rob Stinson. Today we have Jeff Good, managing partner of Mangia Bene, the restaurant group that operates Bravo, Broad Street, and Sal and Mookie's. Jeff is currently involved with the Up'n Farms Food Hub. The hub plans to connect local grocers and restaurants to farmers, as well as offer services to boost local farmers' businesses by helping them with crop planning, financial literacy, and certification requirements. Jeff, welcome to the show, man.
It's a pleasure to be here, Rob.
Honestly,
Always fun to be.
You and I have so much in common, and I was so thrilled that I found out you were coming on the show.
Well, thank you for having me.
Today, what we're going to prepare is a pork stir fry with vegetable lo mein and bok choy salad with cilantro, onion, and tomato. If you're interested in any of the recipes you've seen on today's show, visit the webpage at mpbonline.org/fit-to-eat or join our Facebook page, MPB Fit to Eat. All right, so with no further ado, all right, stir fry, hot pan, right?
My lucky day,
hot,
yes.
Hot pan, and look, like probably my favorite style of food is stir fry because you get to use everything fresh.
Yep.
You know, it brings in all of the pretty colors. Over here, we've got everything, and you can kind of nestle right in. We'll have fun doing this together. What I'm going to show them, we've got some beautiful pork loin. And I mean, you can pick these up at any grocery store. And the nice thing is, look how trim and low fat it is.
Absolutely.
You know, it's a beautiful product.
You could get that as part of the Pick 5 at the Piggly
Hey,
Wiggly.
there you go,
There it
man.
is.
But, you know, looking down right now, you see all the beautiful colors of all the vegetables that are going to go in. And I think this dish, you eat as much with your eyes as you do, you know, with your taste buds.
Think about doing that for like a party if you had friends over and having all of that and this an interactive thing. It'd be great.
Isn't it fun?
Yeah.
You know, so what we're going to do, we're starting off, and sesame oil is a key ingredient to give it that kind of smoky flavor. All right, and we only use about a half of a teaspoon, so we're really kind of cautious on that. The pan obviously is hot. First thing I always throw in is some garlic and onion. All right, and we'll let that pan kind of simmer, get a little sizzle going on, and throw our onions right in.
Now, the secret with garlic is never, you got a hot pan, hot oil, but never to let the garlic burn, right?
That's
because
absolutely
it'll become very acrid.
Little crushed red pepper too. We got to put a little flavor on this one, huh? So what I'll try and do at this point, we'll go through and I kind of move around and just get some of our ingredients moving around. And there you go.
You might like that.
I like that idea. We're going to add into it the color of the dish right off the bat.
Right.
And then I'm going to let this sit on the side just to toss it all through.
So the secret of stir fry is to keep the vegetables crisp, to be hot, but not cooked. You know,
Absolutely.
You want to be crisp to the bite, and you don't want it to be stewed.
Let's come over here. 5 ounces is our portion size. I like to slice it as thin as possible, so that way you don't really have any cook time involved with it.
Bingo.
And people are always scared to try and work with a knife. The key is a nice sharp knife, and look at how easy it is to trim it away.
And you're using the claw, which, ladies and gentlemen, is when you pull your fingers back to make like a crab claw.
Very good.
So when you're using the knife, you don't have your fingers stuck out.
Yep, absolutely.
I've learned through
through
cutting my hand.
Battle scars.
That's right.
We're going to throw all of this in. And then what I like to do when I got the meat in the pan is add on a little bit of our allspice.
Ah, nice.
Right onto the pork
Right
itself.
on the pork. So you put that right on that.
And a little bit of coarse cracked black pepper right on the pork as well.
Sweet.
Yeah. And the thing too, you know, people have a tendency, and I hate to say it, to overcook pork.
Yes.
You know, people think, gee, it's pork. You've got to cook this thing until it's so dry that it has no flavor.
Because our grandmothers told me that pork had worms in it. You had to be careful. That's not really where we are in today's day and age.
Let me tell you, it's come a long way, huh?
It has. It has.
You know, and main thing after working with pork, of course, is sanitizing. This is a little bit of bleach. And I tell you,
what's interesting is I really like the way that you season just the protein, just the meat inside the pan. You've kept it away from here, so you're going to have two different flavors kind of collide when it all comes together.
Yep, absolutely. Now we're going to kind of keep these on the side, and it really works so well. All right, we got a lot of stuff on this dish. This one's kind of fun. We're going to throw in some green bell pepper as well. So you've got such a pretty color mix going on.
Yep.
And this is going to go over. You ready for this? This is the twist. This would be served with lo mein, which of course has carbs, typically pasta.
Right.
So we're going to actually take a daikon, which a lot of people out there may have never seen.
Ah, I see.
All right, daikon being a root, and you could use parsnips, you could use zucchini, you could use squash, with these beautiful spiral cutters that are new to the marketplace. Isn't that amazing?
It is.
It's such a great little tool. But let's come back over here, and all we're going to do is kind of turn all the meat over. Like I said, I like to sear it on that side. But after you're done, everything gets mixed together, and look at the browning that we've got.
It's going to cook in no time at all.
Yeah, it really is such a fun dish.
And the secret, again, is you had a hot, hot pan, very little oil. You just kind of coated it, and you got it almost to the smoking point, and then you went to it.
Yeah, and it makes all the difference, you know, because honestly, the easiest thing in the world is to throw all your food in there with a little bit of oil, and then it soaks all the oil up if the pan isn't hot enough. I tell people all the time, if there's one thing, and you know this from being in the restaurant business, this separates the restaurant business from cooking at home, people are scared to get their pan too hot at home.
That's right.
You know, so now we can kind of have a little fun and just flip this like you would.
This is exactly what's happening in lunchrooms, I mean, in kitchens around the globe making restaurant food. What you just did is exactly what's going on. So it can be done at home.
Oh, absolutely. And look at that flavor.
Yeah,
and I tell you what, it's a lot of food.
It is.
You know, I mean, and all you've really got is 5 ounces of protein.
Yep.
So tell me a little bit about, okay, Up in Farms.
Up in Farms.
I love it, Up in
Right.
Farms. Talk a little bit about it.
Right.
Explain, because a lot of people out there know about farmers markets. They don't realize the struggles that you and I go through in the restaurant
and
business.
we were having this talk off camera. So in a nutshell, we live in Mississippi, and we have a $7.5 billion agriculture economy. It's amazing.
People have no idea.
That's everything from pork to chicken to seafood to trees to horticulture.
I'm going to add a little bit of
I
carrots
wanted to
in
ask
there.
you, what do you think out of that $7.5 billion in agriculture, how much do you think is fruits and vegetables? Give me a number.
I'm going to say half.
120 million out of 7.5 billion. And therein lies the rub. So we have our Smith County watermelons, our Crystal Springs tomatoes. You've got various and sundry. You got sweet corn and cucumbers
Sweet
and squash
potatoes,
and sweet potatoes.
Bartman,
Guess what? Half of that 120
is sweet potatoes. I was going to
so
say.
we don't feed ourselves. We have an economy here that changed since our grandmothers were out there, when everyone was farming and communities were self-sustaining. There's been a collapse to kind of an industrial complex, and the world is flat, and we have big box stores, and we've got transportation that is second to none around the world.
Right.
So, you know, quite frankly, when we look at your produce here, we have really no idea where this came from, unless you picked it from a farmer. So what we're trying to do.
We're going to add a little vegetable stock.
There you go, vegetable stock.
Yeah,
Nice
pure,
and healthy.
no salt.
There it is.
Absolutely healthy, and a no salt soy. And I tell you, I wish I could bring product names in, but this is a great product that's out there.
You're going for no fat and no salt. This is
No
great.
salt, no fat.
great.
Yeah, absolutely. But
I might be able to fit in my.
there we go. So
pants.
go back.
Well,
go
okay.
back
So
now.
what we're trying to do is there's a missing link here that we've uncovered. I'm a restaurateur. There's a group of us that are restaurateurs that came together and said, why is it so hard for us to get produce? Because we can't. Farmers can't grow and deliver and do everything themselves. So what we're doing is creating a food hub. Real simple concept. It is an aggregator and a distributor of product. That means you bring it in, you clean it, wash it, pack it, and you ship it out. And so we're providing that service to the farmers. And because we're a food hub and we're not a top-down corporate entity about making large profits, we are a social enterprise that's there to be able to provide this, to be able to provide value all the way down. Farmers make money, restaurants make money, and we start growing more farmers.
And the consumer gets a better product.
The consumer gets a better product, and the consumer can get a product because it'll go statewide.
You know,
Up in Farms.
That's fantastic.
Thank you.
Up in Farms. Up in Farms.
Up in Farms!
Up in Farms.
There you
I don't
go.
know if we get
Now
that.
they're going to
All
take
right.
me away.
On today's nutrition segment, registered dietitian Rebecca Turner will show us how to toss together a tasty panzanella salad. Stay with us.
Making one simple change to your diet, like adding a salad almost every day, can pay off with plenty of health benefits. When done right, salads ring king as potentially the healthiest meal you can eat. And today, I will show you one of my go-to salads for either a main meal. It's high in fiber and it's meat-free, which both can help lower cholesterol. Plus, it's full of heart-healthy fats that will help you absorb all those protective nutrients from your vegetable. It's called a kale and white bean panzanella salad. Now, panzanella is just a fancy word for stale bread, but trust me, it's delicious. As you can see, these are fresh, easy to find, easy to prepare ingredients. We have kale, we have great northern beans, cherry tomatoes, fresh mozzarella, bacon, and then balsamic vinaigrette. And not to forget the stale loaf bread. Now, this salad is so simple to prepare, you can definitely bring your kids into the kitchen and get their hands in on this salad. You're just going to start with 2 cups of kale, or you could use spinach instead. Remember, the darker the greens, the more nutrients and protective vitamins and minerals that are going to be found in your lettuce. Next, we're going to start with 1 can of rinsed great white northern beans. If you don't have these on hand, you could use any other bean, but the point is legumes are high in fiber and plant-based proteins. They're going to keep you full longer and fill you up. Next, we're going to add 3/4 of chopped cherry tomatoes. Not only do they just make this salad pop with a beautiful color, but they also add lycopene, which is a heart-healthy nutrient found in tomatoes. For our meat-free protein of choice, we're going to use fresh mozzarella. You could use another cheese substitute if you would like, but I really found the mozzarella goes well with the other flavors of the salad. Now, we have 3 strips of bacon, and before you look at me funny about adding bacon to a healthy salad, remember, it's only 3 strips, and it's going to add a ton of flavor and a little bit of crunch to your salad. Besides, adding bacon to salad is a great way to get men to eat your homemade salad. Next, we're going to add 1 to 2 tablespoons of your favorite balsamic vinaigrette. That's really going to help infuse all these flavors. And the star of the salad is your panzanella or your stale bread. Just go ahead and throw that in there. Now, you think stale bread, but it actually serves a purpose. Once you start to mix all this together, your stale bread is going to actually help soak up some of the dressing and the juices from your ingredients. It's going to help it not get so soggy if you leave it in the refrigerator and go back for seconds. So this is perfect to make and eat on all week long as lunch, or you can make it as the main meal for dinner one night. Either way you go, this salad is truly fit to eat.
Thanks, Rebecca. A panzanella salad is perfect for those who enjoy bread with their salad. And speaking of salads, you know, Jeff, one of the things, and it's a misconception, bok choy, you use the whole piece, the white and the green, and I think it's really kind of unique. So what we're doing on this is a little sesame oil. We're going to sear the white portion of the bok choy.
All right.
And I throw that into the salad. You can see the pan is incredibly hot.
And the white portion's the base.
Yep, the white portion is the base. This will brown it a little bit. We're going to do that quickly. Throw in some sliced tomatoes just so they can sear a little bit in that same sesame.
Nice.
And then the onions could be raw. I just like to braise them a little touch. So we'll have those right here. And it doesn't take long.
3 totally different shapes. You've created different textures. Instead of dicing the tomatoes, nice disc.
Absolutely.
Beautiful. Eat with your eyes, right?
You really
Eat
do.
with your eyes.
All right, so this can go right into our salad bowl.
Literally just warming it, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay.
Turn that heat off. Now we have kind of the fun portion where we start adding in some green onion. I use anything but oil, so virtually no fat. So this is a vegetable stock.
Once again with the vegetable stock. You can buy
I
that at
love
the store, right?
Yeah.
Just comes in those little boxes.
Sure can. A
shelf stable.
little rice wine vinegar.
Okay.
just to balance it off. A little bit of the bottom portion of the green onion, so it's about a tablespoon of each.
So you did the tops and the bottoms of the green
Yep,
onion, just like the
separate.
tops and the bottoms? All right.
Yeah, just to kind of keep it cohesive. A little fresh cilantro goes into the mix.
Oh, yeah.
All right, and then once we've got that done, whoops, excuse me.
That's all right.
We're gonna take this, move it front and center. Little allspice as well too, just to, don't have a lot of seasoning in this. And then the green portion of the bok choy.
Got it. So it's going to be like your lettuce. That's going to be
Exactly,
okay.
exactly.
So
it
the
really
rest
works
is garnish,
well.
and that becomes the thing that ties it all together.
And then
That's
you've
great.
got this beautiful, colorful, semi-warm, trying not to break the tomatoes apart, but to get all of that coating as if you had oil.
That took no time at all.
I mean, isn't
That's
that amazing?
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about the exchange. Everything in the whole idea of this, I think, is fantastic.
Well, thank you. It's just about access. It's also about the economy for Mississippi. You know, if you take a look at the Delta and you see what's happened through the kind of the pouring out of industry and the pouring out of people, we've got to solve the Mississippi dilemma. And getting back to the farm as owners and entrepreneurs to be able to grow your own product and be able to focus on that and then have a method to be able to hand it over. See, the difference between cotton and soybean? There's a commodities market. You can grow all the cotton you want, you look at the
right.
Board of Trade, you book it, and you just get it at your granary. Fruits and vegetables, you got to stick it in your truck, go to a farmer's market, go to Highway 49,
Well,
drop your
when
bed.
you said the number, it astounds
Astonishing.
me.
7.5 billion versus 120 million.
Astounds me.
Crazy. It's
That's
crazy.
just a shame.
One more weird stat. We import $8.5 billion net of food. 90% of the food we eat, we import.
Isn't that sad?
It's crazy.
And we ship so much great product
We
elsewhere.
Mississippi can grow anything. We've got some of the best folks in the world. Average farmer, though, is 66 years old. So we've got to be able to engage those kids.
Those
That's why
kids.
we're going to work with Heinz and with Alcorn and with Mississippi State and USM.
to bring some youthfulness
Absolutely.
into the business.
Absolutely.
That's fantastic.
Thank you,
though.
sir.
Because
I
I tell
look
you
forward
what,
to having the Up and Farms truck drive down
to my restaurants.
to the restaurants on
and
the
I
coast.
tell you what, you
There
will.
It is.
You will. Because I
Thank you.
mean, I really think if you don't walk the walk, what's the point?
But
in
we've
doing
got to
all
meet
this?
you where you are. As restaurateurs, we need efficiency,
Right.
or else we won't be around.
That's
so
right.
it's a balancing act. And so our customers want it. We've got to figure out a way to do it. We're going to make it happen.
That's Up in Farms.
Woo! I won't do it again.
I love it. All right. On today's Down on the Farm segment, we travel to Philadelphia, Mississippi, where the Mississippi Choctaws have started a community-supported agriculture program that has really taken off and is now available in Jackson.
The Mississippi Band of Choctaw Indians in Philadelphia, Mississippi, has started an agricultural program aimed at getting fresh produce available to tribe members. The program's director, Dick Hoy, has been working with the Choctaws for the last 3 years and has seen the impact of the program's success.
Choctaw Fresh Produce started as an idea of being able to grow and distribute food locally. We got a grant to start this program to where we could grow produce for the resort properties, for local consumers, and it just took off from there. About 6 months ago, we made the decision to transition from conventional grown produce to organic. Choctaw, or historically, they were outstanding farmers. That's why they thrived when other tribes didn't. And to see them getting back into agriculture, it just really excites me.
As more and more greenhouses were added, a surplus of produce was the result. And this surplus has now been made available to other communities through CSAs. In Jackson, these CSAs can be purchased at the Broad Street Baking Company and Cafe in Banner Hall.
Well, we have a CSA, which is Community Supported Agriculture. You buy a membership. Each week you receive a box of whatever is fresh and ready that week. It typically runs 8 to 10 different products in a box. We extended our CSA into Jackson, and it's been a huge success. We sold about 80 shares there in 2 weeks, and we've got a waiting list of about 100 people ready for the fall.
It's great. You know, it's you never know what's going to be in the box, so that's been kind of an interesting aspect. And we have to tailor our menus to suit whatever's fresh, which is which is also kind of fun and seasonal.
We love it. My husband grew up on a farm, so he really likes all the greens that have been coming in, and the spices, the dill and the cilantro. It's just so fresh and easy to prepare meals with.
The produce is better quality than anything you can get. It wasn't picked 3 weeks ago and trucked in here from Mexico. So, you know, it's high quality food, particularly the greens that we've been getting earlier in the year. But I would just recommend that why would you not want to support local farmers? If you like to eat, you like to cook, I mean, it's a no-brainer.
If you want to learn more about the Choctaw Farm Fresh CSA, you can go to ChoctawFreshProduce.com. And I know you know all about that, huh?
A little bit. We're helping out the Mississippi Choctaws. We are the drop-off spot and pickup spot for their CSA program. So a CSA is a contract. You buy 12 weeks of produce for a fixed amount, $330. So you get 12 big boxes every week. It's farmer's choice. You don't know what's going to be in it, but they deliver 70 boxes.
It's like a Christmas present.
It is like Christmas 12 times a year, spring
That's
and
right.
fall. And we're using Broad Street as a convenient pickup, so it works out really, really well.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Well, let's get this started. We're going to do a quick zero-fat spray.
All righty.
Then we're going to take, and I'm going to come back and show them a little trick on this, our garlic, our onion, everything at one time. This is basically daikon pasta. Look at that. Is that not incredible? And people are going to
Pasta, you
say,
say.
how do you make that? That is a vegetable, pure vegetable pasta. Little bit of pepper. It'll brown just a little bit, just to get there. You see how that garlic did?
So
and
for
now,
the benefit of our audience, I'm going to say pasta with a quotation mark.
that's
around
right.
it.
That's right. Not real pasta.
But it's every bit as, oh my gosh, it's going to be gorgeous.
All right, now all we got to do, toss it and let it sit right here on the side, because that's going to become the base.
Yep.
And let's actually look at how easy this is to do. This is so much fun. A spiral cutter you can get almost anywhere now.
Absolutely.
It is one of those gadgets people are hesitant to believe it can work.
Yep.
Watch how simple it is.
Magic. Comes out just like
Is that incredible?
That's a lot easier than making pasta.
And no carb.
No carb.
No carb, no fat.
And anything you can fit in there that's hearty and doesn't, obviously, some of the juice in a tomato would fall apart, but anything hearty, cucumber,
Isn't that
zucchini.
amazing?
My daughter makes zucchini zucchini lasagna with that.
Yeah, I mean, it has so many different uses. It's amazing. So what we're going to do, let's take a little bit of the pasta-like product, because that's how fast and easy it is.
It's amazing, yeah.
We're going to put it as the base on the plate.
And I notice you're using a nice dark plate, and it's
Yeah,
popping that like crazy.
doesn't it
And then
look pretty?
then the
Remember,
color.
again, we eat with our eyes.
That's
I
right.
mean, we really do. We're going to take that incredible stir fry and put it right on top. And I tell you what, tell me that doesn't look like a nice hearty meal.
It's amazing.
And it's only 5 ounces of pork. Get some of that great sauce. Then we put some real fun stuff on top. I sprinkle some of our real, yeah, you know where those can go.
You're going to warn people that you put those in there.
No,
Those are
no.
That's a lot of pepper, my friend.
Those are some beautiful Szechuan peppers.
Okay, and the way you can get away with that is you
can-
left them whole.
That's
So
right.
somebody isn't going to take a small bite and
Right.
go crazy. They'll see it.
And,
Okay.
and some people don't like them. Some people love them. I've got
That's
a whole
beautiful.
group of people that absolutely adore them. Then we're going to put the salad right
Yeah,
here
look
on
at
the
that.
side of this.
Yeah, that's great.
But let's talk a little bit more about how you got in the restaurant business while I'm finishing this plating.
Out of necessity, you know what they say, necessity is the mother of all invention. I used to be in the computer business out of college, went to Millsaps, got a business degree, sold large computer systems for the old National Cash Register Company, NCR, right here in Jackson.
Yeah.
We got bought by AT&T in 1992, and probably a lot of your viewers probably have family members at some point in time that may have been told by corporate, you know, we're closing down that division. So I was going to lose my job, and I couldn't find another job that was satisfying, and one night I called my best friend. We went to Murrah High together. I called him on the phone and said, I don't know what I'm going to do. He was a chef in San Francisco. He wasn't very happy, and we said, you know something? We should go into business together. Started creating the idea for Bravo, went to a bank, was asked for $500,000. They said, well, we'll loan you $500,000 tomorrow. if you have a $500,000 in the bank. So that went away. So we had to, we fell back, wrote a really big business plan, 250 pages, and I prospected 750 people, fed 250 people in my house, 10 at a time, to get 44 people to invest $10,000 apiece to make Bravo a reality, open April 7, 1994. And then from there, it's just been hard work and grit.
I have to say something, and it's funny because I've never talked about it on this show in 5 seasons, but the way I got my first restaurant started was doing a business plan. And very similar story when I approached the bank and went and found investors with that business plan. So what does it say out there, guys? You want to start a business, do your homework,
Do the homework.
and do your business plan.
Yeah.
And ultimately, in the long run, it saved me.
And because if you would have gone for bank debt, it would have been too easy. You would have opened.
That's right.
Flash in the pan.
I know. All right, now, if you're interested in any of the recipes you see on today's show, visit our webpage at mpbonline.org/fit-to-eat or join our Facebook page at MPB Fit to Eat. So I'd like to thank our guest, Jeff Good from the Mangia Beni Group. And I just want to say, I'm your host, Rob Stinson. Eat well.
This is great. Absolutely fantastic.